This, ladies and gentlemen, is called a walking stick. I needed that after the 3 hours and 5 minutes of Monday Night Raw I had to sit through. I needed that after the time that it took for Google Hangouts on Air to work. We had a 24-hour hiatus from Google Hangouts on Air. It would not work. I apologize this is late, but this is still your weekly ProWrestling.me Monday Night Raw review. I'm your host, LK, here from ProWrestling.me, ready for your weekly Monday Night Raw review. Right now, I don't know what to think of. I'm either questioning, should I burn the damn house, the PWME UK headquarters down? Should I hang myself with a pair of headphones? What shall I do? Last night was not my night. So let's put that down before things get out of hand. So last night, I'm sat there, I'm tired. I'm really tired. I'm coming off this illness of tonsillitis. You guys all know that. And I was there. I was like, you know what? I'm going to do Raw, get the Raw review done. I can go to bed at about 6. I have a day off work, so I can lie in. You know, I guess I don't have a choice. But I don't want to. But I have to. You know, I could have had an extra long line. Instead, I'm just getting a kind of nice one. So there I am, suffering through this Raw, begging for it to end. Every minute feels like an eternity. And then finally, 4:05 a.m., Monday Night Raw finishes. I load up YouTube. I click upload. I click create live stream. Boom, boom, boom. Type it all in. Go live now. Comes up. Nothing. Google, fuck you. You cost me sleep. You cost me time. You cost me viewership. You cost Coco time. Well, you cost Boom Boom time. I think Boom Boom even tried to do a show to actually review the show, but he couldn't because Google fucked up. So I do apologize. That's the reason, the explanation, so to speak, why this show is so damn late. It is a catastrophe. It is catastrophic. Indeed, it is cocksuckery. But what can you do? Anyway, let's get on with your weekly Monday Night Raw review. I hope you enjoyed that little intro there. I thought it'd be quite amusing. So we start off with a kind of a moment of silence. The 10 bell ring for obviously the Orlando tragedy. And this is a wrestling show and a wrestling review show and a wrestling podcast, whatever the fuck you want to call it, a video podcast, whatever the fuck you want to call it. This is to do with wrestling. And I don't know if I feel comfortable enough where during my Monday Night review, I can go into the Orlando situation. It's kind of one of those topics where it's not very nice to talk. I'm going to get really negative. And I mean really negative in about 30 seconds after I go off on this one. And I just don't feel comfortable talking about it. It's disgusting. And I would get if this is what I wish I had. I wish I had a show like, for instance, I don't know, where I could just go off topic and on one. Because I tell you what, this ISIS situation, this bullshit that's going on in the world right now is just downright disgraceful. Why should people be worried about going to a club because they're worried they're going to die? Paris, this happened. Orlando, this happened. You know, it's downright disgusting. It's vile. It's grim. Thoughts and condolences for the family. That's all I want to say. I don't want to get too into it because I'm get mad about this subject because it fucks me off. So I think it's best to leave it at that. Then we had a long comedy segment with the New Day. They come out. They do something about Kofi Kingston's shoes. I think the 6-year-old in the front row might have found that entertaining. I'm there, literally there, trying to burn the house down. Like, fuck you, I can't do it no more. I can't. It's just unbearable. It was awful. And then Enzo and Cass come out. They carry on making fun of Kofi Kingston's Steph Curry inspired shoes. I don't know who Steph Curry is. I don't want to know, and I don't care. I could give a rat's ass who Steph Curry is. I'm uninterested. How about this, ladies and gentlemen? This is the go home show for your Money in the Bank pay-per-view. This is your chance to gain network subscribers heading into that pay-per-view. Instead of that, you went along with, instead of hyping, let's hype this 4-way tag team championship match between the Club, Ford Villains, Amore, Cass, and the New Day. Instead of hyping that, you thought, okay, let's talk about their shoes. And here's another thing I want to talk to you about. It's just so lazy. this writing. It's very lazy. It's, hey guys, hey look, we have the club, we have the Vaudevillains, we have Enzo and Cass, we have the New Day, who were involved in a 4-team match at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view this Sunday. How about we just have them 2 teams team up to face the other 2 teams? No story, no reason why it's happening apart from that. There's no actual story. And they're just wrestling for wrestling's sake. It's all about the momentum. And it's like these one-on-one matches or these tag team matches regarding this Money in the Bank ladder match. I'm not a fan of that because they say it's to build momentum. If it was, for instance, Cena and AJ Styles, you want momentum heading into that because you're on a one-on-one wrestling match. Same as Seth Rollins, same as Roman Reigns. But when it regards to the actual Money in the Bank ladder match, you don't need momentum to climb a ladder. You need luck. Okay? And they talked about that. Anyone can win it. So this whole BS about BS, what am I saying? BS bullshit. It's fucking not a fucking PG show. So I watched WWE Monday Night Raw, the fucking BS. Who says that? Bullcrap. Like I watched the season 1, episode 3 of the Swerve with the New Day and the Usos in the thing. It was kind of funny. I was just a bit bored earlier on, and I wanted to kill the time until Hangouts came back on. So I just, with the network, I don't know if you find this, guys. I actually tend to binge watch it at night. For instance, it's 2:19 a.m. right now. So to me, that's night. That's the way how my body clock's working right now. And the way it has been for the past about year and a half since I've done podcasting. Back at Hell in a Cell 2014 was my first show. And since then, really, my body clock has transpired into this is now my evening. And my day starts around 1:12, 2. But it's what I want to do, and I want to do it for the rest of my life. But I digress. What was I talking about originally? This is a cluster. This is the issue of doing it at 2:20 a.m. Sometimes you do get tired and caught in the loop. Damn, I'll talk about, no momentum. It doesn't really matter. And that was it. That's fuck everything I was talking about. We'll take it right back to here. Why couldn't you have the club attack Amore and Cass backstage to kick off the show? Kick off the show with the club obliviating, and I mean obliviating Enzo Amore and Big Cass, beating the shit out of them. Security guards come and take him off. The club then hit to the ring. Club say, look, our opponents were meant to be Amore and Cass. We beat the living crap out of them because we are the club, and we are going to do that this Sunday at Money in the Bank on the WWE Network, and there's nothing you or anyone else can do about it. Amore and Cass music hits, they get a big pop, they come out selling. There is something called selling, it's called psychology, lost in modern day pro wrestling, as usual. And they come out and they have a match. The club win, but then again, protecting Amore and Cass because they lost because of the backstage attack, getting heel heat on the club. Simple. Intrigue, emotion. Okay, the club got the win. Okay, with the Magic Killer. Right, team won. Did it get heat on them? No. Did they attack him with steel chairs after? No, they don't do that. What was the build for this match? If you were watching this Raw, and it's your first time watching Raw, first time watching WWE, would you even realize there is a 4-team elimination, or not elimination match, 4-team match at the pay-per-view? You wouldn't, would you? And that's wrong. I will get to live comments at the end, guys, so just be patient. Titus O'Neil came out to have a match, but he got obliviated. I mean, obliviated by Rusev on the ramp before he even got to the ring. Basically, just tearing on the accolade, just being a ruthless motherfucker, launching him into the LED boards at the side of the ramp. Really great stuff. Rusev looked like this monster heel. However, again, there is one issue. This is a triple threat. Where was Jack Swagger? Jack Swagger is a babyface. It's 2-on-1. Technically, I don't like the 2-on-1 format because, in theory, they're going to be double-teaming Rusev, which puts sympathy on him when he's meant to be the monster heel. But as long as Rusev comes out of this US champ, I think we'll all be good here. But I do have this gut feeling that Titus O'Neil. But I don't want to talk too much about my previews because we're going to save that for a Money in the Bank preview sometime down the line this week. But I did love this, how it got heel heat on Rusev. But if this was Rusev versus Titus O'Neil, I'd be saying this is fucking awesome. It still was good for what it was worth. But in the end of the day, I wish Swagger got involved. Have Swagger come out to separate him, like push him off, and then, Rusev back to Swagger as well, push him in, throw him in through the LED board. Throw him off the sideboard. Do whatever the fuck you got to do. Get some heel heat on this guy. I did like that. They made Corporate Kane. He returned for some reason. There's just nothing logical about this first hour. The second hour was enjoyable, but there's nothing logical about this first hour. It's just depressing. Basically, he's there trying to convince Shane and Stephanie McMahon to let him run SmackDown. I don't actually remember a time or a period where Kane ran SmackDown. Someone else help me out there? I don't remember when he ran it. I remember him part of the Authority. I don't remember him actually being the general manager, but I digress. And this is the part where Twitter exploded, the internet exploded. We had Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. They were the guests on the Ambrose Asylum. I thought that show was dead, but anyway. To me, everyone wants, when I mean everyone, take that lightly. This is just from what I saw on my Twitter machine yesterday. You can follow me on Twitter at LK Wrestling. I'll guarantee to follow you back as long as you don't post spoilers. And if you do, put warning spoilers below. Nothing worse than seeing a spoiler on a Tuesday night. And I was reading there. I was just reading, and it's just, oh, I want the Shield back. Oh, I wish we had 6-man tags. I think they made the right decision of breaking it when they broke it. I think there is money to be made in a one-off Shield reunion, a 6-man tag with a specific team, whether it be the Wyatt family, whether it be an Evolution, whether it be anyone. You know, there is money to be made now, and I wholeheartedly agree. That's why they cut it off, and that makes sense. But at the same time, what can you do with them? There's nothing you can do with them apart from go singles. What they're doing now, you know, Reigns in the main event, Seth Rollins in the main event, Ambrose in the Money in the Bank briefcase match this Sunday at Money in the Bank. So in the end of the day, they're still main players in the show. So I don't care that the Shield aren't together anymore. I was a fan of the Shield, but it got to the point where, yeah, okay, as much as amazing as their 6-man tags are, let's excuse me, let's see how he does. Let's see how he does. Let's see how he does singly. And I think all three of them have done well for themselves. I must agree. They basically they went back and forth. Roman Reigns and Rollins cut a good promo, so did Reigns-ish. For Reigns' standard, it was decent. And then Ambrose cut a promo teasing he will win the Money in the Bank briefcase and cash in on the champion on the same night. All three wrestlers brawled. Reigns Superman punches Seth Rollins, and then Dean Ambrose hits the Dirty Deeds DDT onto Roman Reigns and points the Money in the Bank briefcase. I didn't mind this. I didn't enjoy this as much as a lot of people did. A lot of people were huge fans of this segment and loved the aspect that the Shield are back together, all three of them in one ring. Lots of people like that. I did not like it. I enjoyed it. I think Rollins' promo did a great job of selling me on their World Championship match at Money in the Bank pay-per-view. I didn't agree with that. I liked how they're teasing Ambrose winning and really hyping him winning, you know, so that when he does win, you're thinking, oh, fuck, this main event now is very much more interesting what it is. But the build for this has been lackluster. You know, you had the night after Extreme Rules, heading out of Extreme Rules, this rival was hot. This was mega hot. It was waiting to explode. They came out with Rollins, got a great babyface reaction, but again, they just destroyed him. By just having him, quite frankly, being a heel, I think killed it. And I used this analogy before, but take your mind back to 2002. Triple H, Madison Square Garden return in January. Now, if you're a newer fan and didn't watch WWE back then, I'll always remember it. I was 6-7 years old, and I'll never forget that pop as long as I live. Pop of the night, pop of the century, pop of the millennium. Awesome pops. If you haven't seen it or you just haven't seen it recently, go out of your way to watch it after this show's done. It's just out of this world. And I think Rollins, I'm not saying he got a pop like that. He did get a decent sized pop. So I do wish that, you know, they'd stuck the course, had Rollins be the face. In the end of the day, if you're having Rollins as a heel, he's going to get cheered because he's against Reigns. So it's just logical to have him as the babyface. You could do babyface versus babyface because Reigns, even though he's a heel, he's actually he's trying to portray a babyface, but he comes across heelish because he's just an arrogant son of a bitch. Don't like him. But it did an okay job. I did enjoy it. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy it, but I can. If you're a huge Shield fan, I can understand why you love this. But for me, as a guy who thinks that the Shield were great, I think they have one more reunion match, maybe even a little run. I don't think there's a lot of money to be made in the Shield. And that's just my opinion. I'm going to stick with it. It is my opinion. Still with it. Then we had Paige defeating Charlotte. Natalya and Becky Lynch were on commentary as they'll face Charlotte and Dana Brooke at Money in the Bank. Dana basically rolled Charlotte back in the ring, allowing Paige to hit the Rampage and win the match. Paige actually, on Monday Night Raw, and actually getting a win over the champion. Does this mean, is this a little taster for Paige being involved in the women's championship picture heading into Battleground? Or I don't know what they're particularly doing here, or she's going to get a women's championship match on SmackDown. I don't particularly know or quite frankly care. But I'm zero interest in Natalya and Becky Lynch versus Charlotte and Dana Brooke. Zero. Why there isn't a women's championship match at pay-per-view pissed me off. What didn't piss me off is watching Sheamus batter Zack Ryder. I could watch it all night. He obviously won with the bro kick. And after the match, Sheamus just continued to obliviate Ryder. I'm there thinking, Sheamus, Fella, fuck him up, get the walking stick, shove it up his ass, come on, get fucking prick. Until Apollo Crews came out. He made the save. All this, they had a good brawl, pretty decent brawl until Sheamus legged it through the crowd. It made Crews look like a beast. It did, but not a monster heel, just a beast. It didn't make Sheamus look that much of a cow, but again, it got some heel heat on him. He ran away, and making you want to see them fight, making them want to see them wrestle. And how are you going to do that? Buying the W Network to watch Money in the Bank. So I think I enjoyed that. That was great. Then we had Sami Zayn defeating Cesaro in match of the night. No question about it. No doubt in my mind. Zayn got the win with a sunset flip powerbomb in midair. Beautiful spot. Really, really great spot. Good match. Expect that between these two. If you weren't expecting me to say great match when you heard the name Sami Zayn and Cesaro in the same sentence, uttered under the same breath, then that's wrong. But great match. Again, there's no hype for this. And they were wrestling for wrestling's sake. Commentators are like, Zayn's reacting like he's won the world title. Cole's screaming the momentum. Momentum, you don't need it. You are climbing a rung of a ladder. That's it. I don't understand it, but it was a great match. I'm not going to take anything away from the athletes. Really great stuff. Great match. I just didn't enjoy how there was no story. There was no build-up. Why wasn't there a build-up? You could have done a few minutes of a video package hyping up this match. You could take us back to TakeOver Arrival, then take us to a few weeks ago on Raw, and then SmackDown, and talk about the tag and how that a few weeks ago they kind of were a tag team and then they kind of broke up. I think that could have been great. I think that could have been really well done, but I think they dropped the ball. Not disappointed, not angry, just don't care anymore. We had a contract signing sponsored by Coco Place. John Cena, excuse me. John Cena offered AJ Styles basically two contracts. He had one contract here, which is John Cena versus AJ Styles Money in the Bank, and contract over here, John Cena versus AJ Styles at Money in the Bank with the club. Great promos back and forth. The segment of the night, I fucking love this. It made me pumped. The first time of the night, it made me pumped and excited, legitimately excited for John Cena versus AJ Styles at the Money in the Bank pay-per-view event this Sunday. And that's what it's all about. It's the go-home show. I want heel heat, I want hype, I want build, I want intensity from these guys. I want them to say, look, I will win this, and there's nothing you could do about it. I want intensity, and I want excitement. I don't want to be bored. I want to be excited, and I wasn't excited. But this was a damn good. This was probably one of the best contract signings of all time because, well, the list is very short. There was no brawling. They didn't touch, which I liked because it's making you want them to fuck up. The promos just made me want to see John Cena kick AJ's ass, but AJ kick John Cena's ass. Combustible elements there, just making for a great match, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be awesome match. I'm honestly I reckon coming out of Money in the Bank, we'll call that match of the year. I put my money worth on it. I really do. They had Kevin Owens and Alberto Del Rio defeating Lucha Dragons. Finally, a match of substance and meaning. If Kevin Owens and ADR lost, then the Lucha Dragons would have their spots in the Money in the Bank ladder match. In my opinion, all 6 individuals in that Money in the Bank ladder match should have been put through this kind of thing. Dean Ambrose should have gone one-on-one with Baron Corbin. Chris Jericho should have gone one-on-one with Dolph Ziggler. Sami Zayn should have gone one-on-one with Sheamus. Cesaro should have gone one-on-one with, say, fucking Victor. I don't care. Give me a heel. Simple as that. The Miz. Anyone. Well, he's off filming the Marines 72. But in the end of the day, it was meaningful. I was emotionally attached to this because I wanted to see it. And then there was a tension with Owens and ADR. And you're thinking in the back of your mind, maybe they're going to insert Kalisto in there and have Sin Cara attacked backstage. Because, Sin Cara ain't going to be in there. But you think maybe Kalisto could get the win. I mean, he's former US champ. It has happened before. And then you could have had a Kevin Owens ADR feud. I'm not particularly sure, but Kevin Owens and ADR did get the win. But I was attached. I was emotionally attached. And then Del Rio, though, after the match, super kicked Owens in the back of the head. Then in the most meaningless main event of all time, Dean Ambrose defeating Chris Jericho. Again, to suffer my point of, hey, look, these two men are involved in a 6-man ladder match over there. Raw go-home show to build to that. Just have those two face each other. It doesn't really matter. Are we going to have any backstage promos, any vignettes or anything? Nah, it's Dean Ambrose, Jericho. God, everyone's mother and son were around ringside. You had Zayn on commentary, you had Owens on commentary, Cesaro ring announcer, Alberto Del Rio guest timekeeper. Match bored me to tears. Was fucking awful. Really bad. Ambrose won with the dirty deeds. After the match, everyone brawled. Sami Zayn flipped off the top to the floor, taking everyone out apart from Jericho, who climbed and pulled down the Money in the Bank briefcase, meaning he will not win the Money in the Bank briefcase this Sunday. That's just wrestling 101. That's called wrestling, just wrestling logic. That's fundamental basic of wrestling when it comes to stuff like that. But as a whole, I looked at this show as a builder, as a hyper, as a go-home shower. That's what I looked at it as. I'm not interested in if there was a 5-star match. I'm not interested if there was, this awesome spot. I'm interested in to see if I'm excited for Money in the Bank. I'm excited for seeing AJ Styles. I'm intrigued in the Money in the Bank ladder match because I'm not excited because they didn't do anything to build it. There's no personal animosity. It's just, hey, look, we're in the match. Rollins Reigns, I think they could have done a better job over the prior weeks, but they did an okay job of building that last night on that show. So as a whole, okay, not too bad. I'm going to get live comments after I take a drink. My tonsillitis just aren't go. Dude, I need a sponsor from Diet Coke or Monster. The amount I drink on this show. Jesus Christ. Let's see if we have any live comments, baby. Hope we do. State of mind. How long have I gone for? Hope I haven't waffled on for too long. 20 minutes. Decent size review. Oh, shit. Oh, Boom, invite me in. Is he still here? Yeah, Booms, I'll send you the link. I'll do it via pricing.me, Booms, all right? Sorry, my friend, I only just got into live comments. Fuck, that's annoying. Yeah, just let me load it up. 1 a.m., I'll read through it. No link to Cool LK. No, again, I don't know. There's just something about it. When I want to do it I want it to be done right. I want it to be done properly. I want to have the proper system, the proper gear. I was looking into XSplit broadcasting. I really was. Don't think I'm not looking into it. I really am. But in the end of the day, I want to be able to have it so you actually call in. I want it to be professional. I want it to be done by Skype, not just, hey, here's the link, call in. Because what happens if we have a room of 10 imbeciles? And no, I can't do that. And also, Coco, with the Google Hangouts, if it's on Google Hangouts and you're actually on the show, you could say, I know you won't remember standing, and this is not a hit on you at all. I'm just saying, you could say, I was a part of the show, give me some advert money. I'm on that show. Look, I'm on that show. I want some advert money. And I can't be dealing with that. Coco can't be dealing with that in his stressful life over at Japan. He can't be dealing with that. So just let me load up pricing.me quick so I can send Boom the link. I do apologize, Boom. I didn't see that there. But no, that's the reason why. So when we do it, it will be done and it will be awesome. Believe me, guys, it will be fucking amazing. But as for this time being, as of right now, it's just not going to happen. So let me just find Booms here on PWME. What a great transition. Make sure you sign up for pricing.me. And while you're there, check in the link. We made a new LKU Toilet RKO Edition merch. You can buy cups, you can buy mugs, you can buy pillows, you can buy shirts. We also have a new Stump of the Idiot shirt for under £18, which is cheaper than ever else. We're £17 for those shirts. We also have for £12 the ProWrestling.me logo, just plain. Okay, and I think you guys would really enjoy it. Again, also make sure you sign up for ProWrestling.me. Make sure you also head over to KocoSports.net. So that's done. So the link's been sent to you, Booms. So I'm expecting to see Boom Booms. Let me plug in my audio jack as I wait for the illustrious Boom Booms to come. And I've got a Boom Boomer shirt coming as well. So basically what I'm trying to do is I've set up the store on Redbubble so that we have one for him, one for Booms, one for myself, one for Coco. Once Sammy's, starts rocking and rolling, he gets some catchphrases, some mottos, some slogans. I will allow him to have some merch store. Same with Wrestle Talk SOS. Wrestling Ranted, I'm looking into getting him one, maybe, but I'll have to ask him about it. And basically, you will know if just for instance, say you purchase a Pricing.me logo shirt, money will go into the actual Pricing.me fund. If you buy an LK shirt, I will get the percentage. If you buy a Boom Boom shirt, Boom will get the. But speaking of the man, Boom Booms, how are you, my friend? I do apologize. I went to live comments at the end.
Man. Doing great. That's water under the bridge, my friend. I understand you get busy, you get caught up with things you're trying to do one-man bands, like juggling chainsaws almost. And I got to say, man, your voice is sounding better, man. I heard you had a little bout with tonsillitis. Well, I got to remind you, man, remember, you got to lick it, not deep-throat it. Look, I know you like grape popsicles just as much as the next guy, but you need to slow it down. Of course, I'm making these jokes now, but I've suffered a little bit of an injury myself, so I'm icing down my wrist here. I got it jerking off the pictures of Raymond Steiny's mom. No, actually, I hurt myself at the gym. I took a shortcut and I paid the price for it. So, kids, if you're going to do something like that, do it correctly. Otherwise, shit like this happens. So,
Speaking of Rey Mysterio, okay, we always allow, we made the new rule that Rey Mysterio is allowed one porns, dating, or whatever question on the show. That's just a rule. We can't have too many because, we'll get bombarded with, why are you talking about porn? Why are you talking about this? So the question is, okay, this is from Rey Mysterio.
okay.
If the girl has a boyfriend and she goes jogging with me, does that mean she is cheating on him?
And I think I did answer him in the chat room. I said, like, no, that's not cheating. Now, if you try to put your penis inside of her, yes, that would be cheating. He was like, well, but I want to. And I'm like, dude, you can't do that, man. It's like, look, if you hit on a girl and she's like, oh, I got a boyfriend, oh, that's just innocent. Shit like that happens. But if you know a chick has a boyfriend and you intentionally try to get her in the sack anyway, come on, Ray, you're better than that. You were straight up better than that, bro. You can't do that.
Yeah, because the way I look at it is if that was your girlfriend and another guy was hitting on them, would you like that? You'd be pissed off. You'd be angry at that guy. There's a certain with men. I think it's a mutual respect thing. I won't hit your girl if you don't hit my girl. Like that's the way it should work. And I think that's the way it works in England. I don't know how it is over there in the rocky USA.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. It's part of the bro code,
Yeah, I damn right agree.
Yeah, you don't need to do that. I mean, and if Ray Mysterio is allegedly a good-looking guy, he should at least try to pick up another girl.
What's your opinions on Raw? As this is the Raw review, Booms.
The Raw review, I give it a weak tie. The first hour was just god awful. There was only like one match, and then like something that was gonna be a match, and it didn't work out. Then the women's match was absolutely horrible. The Ambrose Asylum was okay. I kind of liked it, but I think they've just booked it completely incorrectly. I think the wrong people are playing the wrong parts. I hated actually Sheamus Zack Ryder didn't watch. I had to take a bathroom break. Zayn Cesaro match of the night. Believe it or not, I actually did like the AJ Styles John Cena contract signing, the smack talking back and forth. I know Dave Coco is screaming somewhere about a goddamn contract signing, but I actually kind of like the segment. I know. I did like the premise of the Kevin Owens Del Rio versus the Lucha Dragons match. It was just too short for my taste. The main event, I knew where it was going, and I was just like, it was, I was like, I almost fell asleep during because I knew exactly where it was going. But afterwards, I got pissed off because, see, LK and myself, we try to do this Raw review. We try to do it live right after Raw. And for whatever reason, Hangouts was being a fucking bitch and would not work. And I set the show up like 3 times.
Me too. I did twice.
LK tried to set it up a couple of times, and it just wouldn't work for whatever reason. So that's why we're late with it. So give WWE and Google Hangouts 2 FUs for, one, putting on a lackluster show, and then 2, not working like you're supposed to. And it's actually kind of surprising with me with WWE. See, I know when my schedule changed. See, I used to do these Monday Night Raw reviews with Coco all the time. It was live, because I was working, Monday through Friday, and I was working like a regular shift. And when my schedule changed, I couldn't do Monday Night Raw reviews anymore. People were like, oh, man, that sucks, And I was like, yeah, I guess it kind of does. But then after a while, I kept realizing I'm really not missing much with Raw. In fact, when I was watching Raw, I was like, dude, I have not missed anything, really. I mean, I followed for the most part through recaps and obviously through these shows, which I do go back and watch on Tuesdays. I'm very religious about going back and doing that. So, yeah, I do watch you and Dave on this. And so that's how I usually keep track of WWE and their shenanigans. And after watching it, I feel like, it's like the WWE is, okay, imagine this. Imagine it like 1 year ago. Imagine we go back in time. We go back in time here. We got the DeLorean. We went back in time 1 year. And and all of us are on here at KocoSports, and we say, you know what? You know what would be a cool match? What if we had New Day? Because back, they were getting hot. They were still hot. What if they wrestle Enzo and Big Cass from NXT and the Vaudevillains oh, what if we bring in the Bullet Club too? You know, it could be like a 4-way. It could be like New Day versus Enzo and Big Cass versus the Vaudevillains versus the Bullet Club. Anderson and Gallows, bring them in. We're like, whoa, that would never happen, but that would be kind of cool. This action is actually happening. A year ago, we'd have been like, oh man, that'd have been awesome, but it'll never happen. But we fast forward, go back and we go forward in time now to right into the present, and it's happening, and I don't care because they they bitched. I mean, they just picked on Kofi Kingston for his shoes. That was the whole premise. And then they made a dildo reference, and then I actually agree with I think it was the club, the club. Oh, yeah, let me get off on that tangent there. Okay, you can't call them the Bullet Club. You don't have the copyrights. And I know there's some things about, well, is it just in Japan? What about the United States? Do you want to go that route? Do you want to call them Bulletproof? Do you want to try to roll the dice and try to, copyright the Bullet Club here in the United States? Do you want to do a variation? What do you want to do? And it's like, well, guys, we've got to call them something. And then I just wish I could have been a fucking fly on the wall in that creative meeting. Some guy stands up and goes, I got it. What if we just call them the club? And somebody was like, see, that's what I'm talking about. See, look, I know that we had to stay up all night, and I know we went through 4 pots of coffee, but that's the kind of productivity that we're talking about here in WWE. You've got a talent, sir. Don't go hiding that in a bushel basket. Okay, dude, it was just so ridiculous. I mean, these guys, WWE has got a stacked roster. I mean, this is an amazing roster. I don't think they've ever had a roster this great in their history even since the 60s. Even since their inception, I don't think they've had a big enough roster with this much talent, and they've squandered it. They have absolutely squandered it. It's like Rey Mysterio, he's got all the talent in the world, just don't know what to do with it, if you know what I mean, and I think you do. That's what it's like with WWE. And when I go out and I miss this, and then I start watching stuff like, Evolve. I got to go back and watch those 2 most recent shows that they've done. I watch Ring of Honor. I watch NXT. I watch New Japan. I'm watching Lucha Underground. Hell, I went and watched the Lucha World Cup. And I'm like, wow, there's just so much better stuff out there. And here is supposedly the #1 company in the world, and they just don't know what to do with it. It drives me crazy. And this Raw is no exception. But then again, it is. I know that it's a build-up going into a pay-per-view, but the business
they didn't build anything up. They didn't build anything
exactly.
up, which makes it even worse.
And here's the thing. I think they're using the network and their so-called demographics as a crutch. Here's what I mean. See, back in the day, it's like, no, you can't give everything away because, you want people to spend the $25, $30, $35 on a pay-per-view this Sunday. So, yeah, you gotta make sure you have the big stuff that have on the pay-per-view because people are paying out a lot of money for it. Well, now we're in the network. You pay $9.99. You play, in $9.99, you can watch, everything WWE has to offer. You can only watch one show. You still pay the same price. So I don't know why they haven't changed their business model. And 2, it's like, well, we can't have, we're trying to appeal to the children. We're trying to appeal to the children. Really? Okay, let's look at this. What appeals to kids here? Okay, we got an 8-man tag, the faces versus the heels. And the big thing that starts out is, and this is right when the show starts. This isn't like the 10 o'clock hour. This isn't the third and final hour. This is the first hour. They have the tag team champions rag on one of their own guys about his Steph Curry sneakers. Then they bring out Enzo and Big Cass. It's like, okay, they're going to get serious here. They're going to do some smack talking. So can they cooperate for tonight against the bad guys? Because they're going to face each other this Sunday. No, they join into it and make dildo references, vibrator references. Then you bring out the bad guys, then you have a match and whatever. Then let's see, what else do you have? You had a guy get jumped. You had about 20 minutes of talking, which I think the Ambrose Asylum went about 5-10 minutes too long. The one woman who's not wrestling on the pay-per-view, Paige, she gets a win over the champion. So the one person who looks good is one who doesn't have to look good. Sheamus versus Zack Ryder, which is throwaway just to bring in Apollo Crews.
I did enjoy that though.
You do get a pass with Sami Zayn Cesaro, but that was way too short. That was like an 8-minute match.
And unimportant.
Yeah, I did like the contract signing. I did like the jousting. I think it should have been a little bit more pithy. Then you get into I did like the idea of, again, the booking between Del Rio and Owens versus the Lucha Dragons. However, I wish that match could have went longer because this is a 3 fucking hour show. To me, it's like WWE, you're struggling to fill fucking time. I'm like, call me crazy, and I could say this because this is what I do for a fucking living. I work as a producer, and on the weekends, I have to fill, like on Saturday and Sunday, I have to fill 2 hours worth of content. And that would be like me running like one video and then just having my anchor meteorologist just talk to each other for like 5-10 minutes. It would be pointless. Well, what's the best way to fill that time? Put in more stories, put in, more information, more news. And you think with WWE, well, we got 3 hours to fill. What can we do to fill that time? Oh, I don't know. Maybe we could put in some wrestling matches. I mean, I understand that you don't want to give everything away, but it doesn't mean you can't have some good athletic competition. I mean, hell, look at Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor, they're building up to a pay-per-view. Their show, I mean, it's only an hour long. I think maybe 45, 50 minutes with commercials. They still have quality matches that get me excited. Look at Lucha Underground. Their show is about 45 minutes, when you factor in and out the commercial times. And they have great matches that go for a while, and it feels like it's longer. But WWE, I mean, they're putting on. Let me just look at the times here. Let me go to. I'm using PW Torch. They do a pretty good job about keeping time of it. Okay, the first match was 13:30. I'm just going with matches. The women's match was, and by the way, we get to the second hour before we have the actual second match. 2.5 minutes. Sheamus Ryder, $155. Zayn Cesaro, 8 minutes. Oh, 8 minutes, 10 seconds if you want to get technical. The tag match, 8:25. Ambrose Jericho, 11:55. So we'll just round that up to 12 minutes. I mean, I think you could throw in just a lot more wrestling. Oh, and don't even get me fucking started on the fucking commercial breaks during this. Good God, that sucks.
The matches aren't even 10 minutes. Have the commercial break before the entrances, and then you get the entrance and the match, and then have a commercial break. And what I don't like is the fact that fucking the first hour there was a 13-minute match. The Ambrose Asylum didn't start to the top of the hour. So what did they actually do for the remainder 47 minutes of that show? Minus adverts, we'll say 30, maybe 25. Mm-hmm. I don't understand what they did. I honestly am struggling to think what they did. Because they did the Ambrose Asylum at the top of the hour, because that's when the NBA Finals started, and they hyped that. They did about 4 video packages, and they hyped that. But that's what they did for the first hour. They did fucking Shield clips, wasn't it? There's about 16 different Shield clips.
They did Shield clips.
Dude, Dolph Ziggler, Baron Corbin, what were they doing on this show? What was Sasha Banks doing on this show? Where was the Social Outcasts? Done a little run-in that was doing funny. What the fuck's going on?
They could have done a lot more. I mean, and yeah, you got the backstage segment with Kane, trying to become like the general manager of SmackDown. I know I kind of like that bit, but why aren't you seeing like these other wrestlers kind of talking to Stephanie and Shane, be like, hey, you know what, the roster is going to be split in 2. I just want to let you know that I'm behind you, and because trying to position themselves to get drafted on that particular show for a higher spot. Why aren't you seeing some lower card guys actually petition, for trying to suck up a little bit, or trying to petition, like, hey, draft me, put me on your brand. I'll give you 100%. I'll shatter the glass ceiling. I'll do all this stuff for you. Just give me a shot. I can. I wish maybe try to hype up this. Try to hype it up a little bit more. Also, I should mention that Raw actually saw viewers dip below 3 million.
Dude, yeah, that was bad.
It dipped low, and WWE's always making an excuse. Well, it was against the NBA Finals. Well, there's always going to be something going on. There's always going to be something. when the show is good, people will watch it live. And the biggest excuse is, well, people watch TV differently today. And it is true. They do watch it with a smartphone in their hand. They do watch it with a tablet in their hand. They do watch it with a laptop, on the coffee table. They do DVR things and go back and rewatch it the next day. I understand that, but if a show is good, if a show is genuinely good, the audience will stick around to watch it. I mean, look at the numbers that The Walking Dead does. I mean, they're pulling double digits. People watch this stuff. I mean, I know when I get back to, work, after the weekends, people are like, oh my God, did you hear what happened on Game of Thrones?
Oh, don't tell me I'm going to watch that tonight.
Well, I haven't seen it, but I have not seen one episode of that show. I kind of want to watch it to see what the hype is about, but I don't know how to watch it. And I don't have Hulu. I don't have
Dude, just type it into the Google machine. Obviously, we don't promote pirating here, but just type into the Google machine. Watch Game of Thrones online. You're gonna. It's if I'm correct, a few years ago they announced it was the most #1 illegally downloaded show on the web. I think that's an actual statistical fact that Game of Thrones is the most illegally downloaded.
Because I don't want anybody to spoil it, because some jackass spoiled Breaking Bad for me, and I was on the last season, and I was like, motherfucker. And I just couldn't watch it because I knew what was going to happen, and I was like, oh shit, because I was seeing where it was, because I kind of knew where it was going, but I didn't know which direction they were going to go with it, and somebody I'm not, and for those of you who may have not seen, I know it's been some time, but just out of respect, I'm not going to spoil it, but somebody's dropped the spoiler bomb on me, and I'm like, well, fuck, there's no sense in me watching it now.
The night is dark and full of spoilers. Game of Thrones reference. Very funny. Anyway, Booms, I'm speaking of Game of Thrones. I'm about to watch that. So it's nearly 3 a.m. and I want to watch that by 4 so I can sit back, relax, and then have a nice night's kip. So we'll be back with a weekly NXT review tomorrow, Booms. Does that sound good to you?
Yeah, sounds great.
Live after it ends.
Yeah, looking forward to the fallout, from TakeOver. I watched TakeOver. I just didn't watch it live. I scored some tickets to Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. Got to check out that band. That was actually pretty cool. I was at 7th row. That was a pretty fucking cool concert. But hey, enjoyed it.
Well, as long as you enjoyed it, that's all that matters. So it's live after it airs, yeah? Live after it airs.
Say that again?
Live after it airs. Like once the show finishes, we'll go live.
Yeah, it should be, because they're done with Arrow for at least for they're on the summer hiatus. They'll come back in the fall. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna watch NXT right when it airs, and then hopefully jump online right after it gets done, and we'll knock it out.
Perfect. That's beautiful. Also, check out our merch. We've got your shirts coming tomorrow, Booms. Your shirt will be available on the market tomorrow. The Wrestle AM shirt for Boom Booms. Half wrestling show, half pretty much all BS. God, looking forward to that one also.
Love that, man. We can market some other things, We can market pillowcases, just like our faces. So it's the first thing you see when you wake up.
Dude, that would be awesome, but you got to get it so it's transparent, and the backgrounds make it really difficult. I could get our guy Matteo CC on it, but that's a bit.
I'm just trying to think of the cool merch we could come up with. I mean, we got to be original, man. You got to be original. Anybody could do a hat. Anybody could do a T-shirt. But we got to think outside the box, you know.
What more do you want, dude? When I sent you that link, this doesn't just limit to a T-shirt. This is the sales pitch. Okay. Not only can you get a T-shirt, you can get a mug with that logo on. You could get a travel mug, like a flask, they're called in England, a flask. So this is an intellectual show. We call things by their proper names, the English terms. I'm so old school, I have a damn walking stick in my hand. We got a flask.
Do you also have a top hat and a monocle?
Indeed. No. I got a lighter thing. I'm going to burn this shit to the ground later on. What else is there? There was pillows, there was duvets, anything you want. And if you're there, like, you know what, I want to support these guys, but I can't particularly, afford a T-shirt. I can't afford the £18 because I just can't. The mugs are like £9, so it helps out people who just can't, quite frankly, afford the £18 shirts. But there is just literally a simple ProWrestling.me logo T-shirt. I put it on sale for only £14 as well. Or £12.80 was the actual price. So, and with this merch, it means we'll be able to do competitions on our Pick'em, which will be very, very interesting and very awesome. Make our Pick'em and prediction shows more interesting. But again, links in the description for that. Also head over to Pro. Oh, you can do the best salesman in the business. Show them why you're the best salesman in the business, Booms.
Ladies and gentlemen, head over to ProWrestling.me. That's right, it's not a .com, it's ProWrestling.me. We've got news and gossip. We've got our blogs on there. We've got, actually, I was checking out the other day. Matteo TC's got some blogs up there, particularly talking about NXT. He's talking about the recently debuted Andrea Cien Almas. He's got his perspective on his. I'm actually doing a review right now of all the mystery subscription packages that you get by mail. Let's see, I'm up to like 5 now. I'm about to do 6, and then 1 more that hopefully I'll be done, provided there's no more. But I get my review of all of those. You can check those out. What else we got going on there? Oh, yeah, we've also got a pick'em contest for the Raw draft coming up. Basically, it's just simple. You just put who you think's going to wind up on Raw, who you think's going to who's going to wind up on SmackDown. You get 1 point for each correct pick, and the person with the most correct picks is the winner. So that's still open until the draft starts, so be sure to check that out. You can always be sure to like and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, because we're always cranking out these shows. I know me and Sandy want to try to crank one out in probably just sometime a little bit later tonight. Of course, we've got our reviews coming up. Of course, we've got NXT. We're going to have Ring of Honor. Have you got a TNA review coming up? Or did you put that in the can? I think I saw one on there.
No, I did the Slammiversary paper.
Okay, that's what that was. Okay, we got the Slammiversary review in the can. Hopefully, we're going to try to get a Vol review out there pretty soon.
We'll do that. We'll do that together, Booms. We'll do that together. I haven't watched the show yet. I've watched. Actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. I'm up to Matt Riddle versus Cedric Alexander. The first show is enjoyable. I stopped because I started feeling unwell.
And then we've also got Lucha Underground as they build up to Ultima Lucha 2, Ultima Lucha Harder. That's what it should be called. And then, of course, we're at KocoSports.com, KocoSports.me, channel for combat sports, where the world goes to kick ass, and most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. So, hey, check us out.
There you go. So lots to look forward to this week. Apologies again why this show was so late. It was not our fault. We tried. I mean, I bloody poor bastard myself stayed up till fucking 4:45 trying to sort the shit out, but it just couldn't. And I feel like I wasted my time. I could have been, watching Evolve during that time. We could have been doing shows during that time. I could have. I've during Raw. I actually my series is LK Books W, and I've got so many shows written. I just need to produce them, like fucking podcast them out. So during that time, I could have pumped out 3 to 4 of those shows. And it's really frustrating, but what can you do? Sometimes life just fucks you in the ass, and Google fucked us hard, no lube with this motherfucker, like right there, like boom, 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 right there. Nasty, really nasty stuff. I'm still bad. That's why I have the walking stick, because I'm suffering to walk, because I was anally penetrated from Google last night. Really, really hard in the ass. And we portray this long enough. Like, comment, subscribe from Boom Rooms, from myself, LK. Stay safe, stay well out there, because it's a fucking horrible world, and I'll catch your asses down the line.